Have you ever met someone that just tried so hard to be part of the group and to fit in that they end up turning you off in the process? Let's talk about that. So as I've been going through my life, I always kind of see people struggling, and my natural inclination is to want to help them out. And I recently came across just such an instance of this poor woman who's been transposed from her home far, far away. She's in a new situation with a new group of people, and she's really struggling to find her way. And my heart goes out to her, and I wanted to make this video because I see a lot of people struggling from similar issues like this, and I really wanted to put out there how I think you can, help incorporate a better part of yourself and better ways to find yourself in a community, to belong, to fit in, without actually trying too hard. And I wanted to point out some issues I see in her behavior that are really hindering her and holding her back. So a little bit of background, and I say have you ever because I'm sure you guys are probably going to relate to her, and it may actually be yourselves that you found yourselves in this situation. The short end of it is this woman just traveled to a new job. She's now in my city. She's from a totally different part of the country from where I'm from. Cultures and customs. I know a lot of you guys may not think of the US as being a bunch of random little countries, but we really are. And there's a lot of distinct personalities and rituals that people grow up with. And moving from north to south, east to west is actually kind of a process. And there's a lot of things people have to learn. And this woman just happened to come from a very different background. And her personality type and her interests just aren't really a good match for the people that she's having to hang out with every day. And what I've noticed with her behavior is, I can just see her really struggling, and it's really hard to watch. She's constantly going out of her way to try to get along with people. She's stepping into conversations, she's trying to add value to those conversations, but you can see her stumbling a bit. You can really feel that she's not naturally interested in those conversations. She's really just trying to find a way to fit in. She's going out of her way. She's inviting people to go to dinners with her. She's inviting people to go to workout classes with her. And her intent is very solid. And I know she's doing a lot of effort. She's really trying hard to fit in, to be part of the group. And the sad thing is her behavior, I think, is really having the opposite effect. This is coming from a place within her of needing to fill in or needing to, feel part of this group. But I think it's that fear that's actually driving her actions, and it's causing the opposite. So what do I mean by that? I think most of us kind of have a sense of personal space, and we're not really comfortable with people kind of inserting themselves in our lives. We like to have things happen naturally. We like a sense of autonomy. And when we see people coming into our lives really trying to push themselves in, we tend to question their integrity, their authenticity, and really why they're doing that. I think a lot of us can think of an example of, say, a snake oil salesman. We tend to understand that when people are trying really hard to sell us on something, there's something disingenuous about it, and it rubs us the wrong way. And in the context of this woman, she's a lovely woman, and I think there's no reason why people wouldn't like hanging out with her. But I think the effort of her constantly trying to be part of the conversation, constantly trying to insert herself in everyday situations where she wouldn't necessarily just naturally vibe and fit into, it's really pushing people off. And I think people are really just not really sure what to do with her. I know personally for me, I feel exactly where she's coming from. I remember when I was growing up, I was kind of like her too. I remember, for example, I became extremely materialistic for a while. I remember buying, as you guys may have seen me on my watch channel, I got really into Rolexes and stuff at the time, which I still am to that as well, but at that point in time, I just did it because I wanted status. I had to have Louis Vuitton wallets, and I was, braggadocious about my BMWs, and I was very much about the fixings in my life. My lifestyle, I felt validated by having materialistic things. I had to have expensive clothes, I had to drive a nice car, I had to fit out and be in parts of groups with other people that were materialistic and, to be honest, focused on the wrong things in life. I thought that being validated for status was what I wanted to make me happy. And as life, moved on, I realized that these things were actually pretty empty and meaningless, and that I wasn't getting fulfillment from these materialistic things. In fact, I was getting the opposite. They left me empty. I couldn't buy any number of wallets or watches or things to make me feel better. At the end of the day, it just felt soulless. And the validation that I was seeking, I realized, was really getting me nowhere. At the end of the day, I had theoretical friends in my life and people that theoretically appreciated me, but it never felt genuine, and I never really felt like there was a true bond there. It all felt lacking to me. I wanted to belong. We all want to belong. And especially in today's world, we have constant access to social media. We're constantly tuned in to Facebook, to Instagram, to all these different media tools, and we do it because we're really part of this. We need to be part of the community mentality. Just on YouTube, you guys leave comments, you like responding with one another, you really like having that sense of validation to know that you posted something, you've been heard, your voice matters, people appreciate you. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, but when you're coming from a place of just needing to be acknowledged and needing to be accepted, you put yourself in this dangerous situation. It's been said many times throughout history in many different ways that it's better to have the right kind of friends than just a lot of friends. And they technically say that the way you achieve that is by being truly authentic to who you are. And, when you try to fit in, again, more than likely or not, you're going to turn people off. But the other scary thing is, what if you actually do find yourself in these communities? The problem with that is you don't know if people actually really like you for who you are. And frankly, they're probably not going to, because you spent so much time trying to tone yourself to such a way that you fit into these communities that you're not really authentic to who you are. And that really isn't a true sense of belonging. That creates this sense of inner insecurity, right? And in my personal experience when I was younger, I never knew if people really liked me for who I was or liked me for the person they thought I was. And I think a lot of you guys can probably relate to that. And please let me know if you can relate to that. If you're coming from a place of inauthenticity, of just wanting to belong and to be acknowledged, you're never really going to know if people really understand who you really are. And you're always going to be covering up yourself. And the key in all this, and the message that I really want to drive home on this, and what I really want to relay to this woman as well, is you don't need to try so hard. Like I said, she's a beautiful individual. She's just a little flawed in her premise of handling these things. And my advice to her would be the advice to all of you watching this, if you find yourself in this situation, or you find yourself dealing with someone in this situation, is to not try so hard, but just come from a place of authenticity. In my personal life, in my time being on YouTube and otherwise, when I've embraced who I really am, which can be my sarcastic, somewhat immature and brash personality, I may not have the number of friends that I used to have when I was younger, but I definitely have a higher quality of friends in my life and significant others, and just everybody appreciates me for who I really am. That insecurity goes away, and I know because I was true to myself, people appreciated me for as I am. And the same with this woman, and this is the advice I'm going to give her, is you're great. Embrace your diversity, embrace your individuality. Be true to yourself, and people are going to vibrate and they're going to respond to you. So what do I mean by vibration? Well, we live in a universe of energy, and I believe that like attracts like. And when you vibrate a frequency that's accurate to who you are, when you own who you are, when you're proud of who you are, I believe that people that appreciate you for who you are will vibrate into your lives. And I believe that you will attract like to like. And in that way, when you're putting out the signal of exactly who you are, you're going to find no shortage of people that are going to appreciate you as you are. They're going to like you for all your quirks and all your goofy behavior. And they're going to help build on that. And they're going to make you feel not only more secure in who you are, but also encourage you to be more of who you are. And that's like something I think is very crucial in having meaningful and fulfilling relationships. You just need to be yourself, and you will find the right kinds of relationships and friendships that will support you for who you are and validate you as you are. And that's really the key takeaway I want you guys all to have here. Diversity is a great thing. Individuality is a great thing. Diversity is what makes the world so great. If we all thought the same thing, if we all had the same perspective, we'd still be living in caves right now. You really need people to challenge the status quo and to alter and offer a unique perspective. So again, if you see someone like this in your life, if this someone is you, remember, be true to yourself, believe in yourself, and go your own way. And the right kinds of people will come into your life, and you'll have a much more open, honest, and frankly meaningful existence in this world, where you will know that you are who you are, people appreciate you for who you are, and just the quality of all your relationships will be that much better. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Please again, let me know in the comment section below. If you know someone like this, or this someone is you, I would love to hear your personal experiences. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and please let me know in the comment section below how I can improve these videos, and also what topics would you like me to discuss. This is a channel that I want us to build together. I want this to be a community effort, and your feedback matters a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it significantly. If you could do me a favor of subscribing, and again, giving me that feedback, it means the world. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. I'll catch you guys real soon on the next video.